Make sure you watch until the end of today's video so you can see why this is one of the best RPG games on the market. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can get 2 epics and 3 legendaries absolutely free. There's never been a better time to start playing, so to get started, make sure you scan my QR code as soon as possible because these rewards won't last forever. Make sure you start through my link because if you get the game elsewhere, you won't be able to get the rewards. When you scan my QR code or click the link in the description, you will immediately get a huge starter pack with the epic champion Drake. You'll also get another starter pack after reaching level 15 that includes the epic champion Tagoar as well. And once you're settled in and playing, enter the promo code Monkey King to get the legendary champion Sun Wukong for free. This, however, is only available for the rest of February, so make sure you hurry up. You'll also get 5 brand new legendaries, including Alice the Wanderer and the Queen of Hearts. The other 3 legendaries, Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, and Knave of Hearts, can also be unlocked through in-game event. And if all that sounds easy enough, all you've got to do is get started once again today through my QR or the link in the description. All right, so I wanted to show you guys how you can unlock Alice the Wanderer, and it's extremely easy to do. Firstly, all you've got to do is log in for 7 days, and you're going to get all these rewards, including Alice on the 7th and 14th days here. So make sure that you guys are logging in during the event period. It is very, very important that you guys are doing that. There's also a dungeon where you guys can fight the Queen of Hearts, so make sure you're completing this to get all the awesome rewards that are tied into this. You're gonna want to make sure you're doing this, and all this stuff is available for new players and recurring players, so don't miss the opportunity for the awesome stuff. I wanted to show you guys some of my favorite champions in Raid Shadow Legends, and these are ones that I've really enjoyed using or watching other creators use because I simply don't have them. First thing I'll tell you is that Raid has such a massive roster of champions that you guys can choose from, but for me, nobody I think is cooler than the Rathalos Blade Master here, collaboration with Monster Hunter. Look how awesome he looks in game right now. This game does have a ton of awesome looking characters like this, but a lot of also collaborations that you're not going to want to miss when you guys start playing the game. So what I like about him the most, no skins, but what I like about him the most is this skill here. Increases all enemies, or excuse me, attacks all enemies before attacking, places a 30% increased crit damage buff and 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. So he goes and hits them hard and fast. And another cool feature of the game is you can see where players rate these characters and where they're really going to be good at in terms of different content you guys can take on, and what the recommended artifact sets are for certain characters. So I enjoy using him a ton, easily in every party that I make at this point. And that may be also because I don't have the best options, but I do love him a ton. So Lysandra here, also one of my first legendary characters. So she has carried me through a ton of content. With her aura ability, increases ally speed in all battles by 24%. That is massive and has helped me out a ton. But above all else, she is a very solid support here. So transfers all debuffs from this champion onto the target. Next up, fully depletes the target's turn meter, so a lot of control there. And then this one here, this is my favorite ability she has. Places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, and decreases the turn meter of all enemies. So basically a supporting control character that is predicated on turns and all that stuff. And with this being a turn-based game, speed is one of the most important and best stats to manage and use to your advantage in this game, and she has helped me a ton. And I like using the 2 champions I've showed you so far in this video together because they have a really awesome synergy because of all that control that they can do. And Rathalos is a awesome character in terms of the DPS. And last but not least, my man Harvest Jack. Firstly, I've got to say, he may have my favorite design in the entire game. That pumpkin looks awesome. He may have one of my favorite designs in the game. So what I'll say about him is he's got some fun debuff stuff that he does. So take a look at this. Attacks all enemies have a 75% chance of placing a True Fear debuff for 1 turn. Also places a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns and decreases each target's turn meter by 15% if they landed True Fear on them. Has a 75% chance of placing a Sleep debuff for 1 turn if True Fear is not placed. So Again, he hits all enemies, has a 75% chance to inflict true fear, and if that goes on, he absolutely terrifies them into submission. If you're wondering what true fear does, it's in here, down here. So here's the regular fear effect. There are two versions, true and regular fear. When a champion with true fear debuff attempts to use a skill, there's a 50% chance that the skill will not activate, and the champion will lose their turn. And the attempted skill will go on cooldown as well. So there's a lot of like turn manipulation with those three. So they make it into a lot of content that I take on. And attack all enemies, places their block debuffs, debuff for 2 turns on the target under fear debuffs. Removes any increased attack buff on the target and replaces them with a 50% decrease attack debuff. Also removes any continuous heal buff from the opponent and gives them a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. The number of poison debuffs is equal to the number of continuous heal buffs removed. And lastly, here's his just regular basic attack. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target. So another character that I like using just because of the sheer amount of control he has. Leering Grin. When attacked, decrease the duration of all buffs on the enemy attacker by 1 turn. That's kind of insane. So those are characters that have helped carry me through a lot of the content I've taken on in the game. Now, I still am not at a point where they're advanced enough and boosted enough to where I can kind of push through the tippy top harder content. But for what I am able to do, they've really helped me out. And as you see, I've been able to push through brutal. And it's not the craziest feat, like it's undoable or anything like that. But I've been able to do that pretty quickly and easily with those characters specifically. Really spearheading. The last characters that I typically use are a couple of epics that I have, so you guys can check them out here. So we're gonna go over to, I believe, Demon Spawn, and yes, I've used the Infernal Baroness here a decent bit. I do like her. Chance of 50% chance of a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies, and then heals. This is mainly what I use her. Heals the allies with the lowest HP. Not the craziest healer, of course, but I do use her. Also do like the character. So I've used her a good bit. The other characters that I use that are epics are going to be over here. And I've got great value out of them so far. And that's going to be, I believe, Bannerlords. Not Bannerlords. It's Skinwalkers, probably. Correct. So Ripper, another one I've gotten value out of. So basically just a powerhouse, destroys their max HP by 30% of the damage, attacks one enemy 2 times, damage increases as the target's HP remaining decreases, attacks an enemy, will ignore 50% of their defense, and then the aura here increases allies crit rate in all battles. I've gotten good value out of Ripper as just more or less a DPS character to help me out in some of the content in the game, and I really do enjoy using him. So again, those are the characters that have helped me tremendously and are currently helping me. And I do want to take the next step and focus on some other ones. They're going to be mainly legendaries, but those are pretty hard to get unless you have a lot of luck out of portals sometimes. But who knows, you could get lucky and maybe that's you. But if you guys want some free legendaries, remember, all you've got to do is scan that QR code and you guys will be getting at least 2 free legendaries, Alice the Wanderer and Sun Wukong. To get him, all you have to do is enter the promo code Monkey King, which you'll find over here, and enter Monkey King. That will give you Sun Wukong for free. And through the Alice event, you guys will get other characters like the Queen of Hearts. The other 3 legendaries, Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, and Knave of Hearts, can also be unlocked through in-game events. Immediately get a huge starter pack with the epic champion Drake. You'll also get another starter pack after reaching level 15 that includes the epic champion Tagoar as well. Those are all characters available to you right now. So make sure that you guys get started playing Raid Shadow Legends today. I'll see you in the game.